furnace, it doesn't seal real good. I need to bring you a cup, Dr. B, so you can have some coffee.
Yeah, I've got a.
World on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Well, good morning, Dallas Fort Worth, and thank you for waking up with good old Blue Eyes and JP and Dr. B. Good morning, Dr. B.
Good morning, JP, and welcome to Friday the 13th. What a great day.
Friday the 13th. Boy, I tell you what, it's a fantastic day. You've got your black on so you can ward off all the spirits, and that's a good thing. So hopefully, folks, you've had a black cat walk under the ladder already. You've had some mirrors break already, so you don't have to deal with all of that going on for sure. Right, Dr. B?
So you're saying get all that stuff out of the way first, huh?
Get it out of the way. So, folks, we're going to share that for the last segment. We're going to talk a little Friday the 13th, but right now we're going to talk funny things in the news. Well, I'll tell you what, Dr. B, this has got to be a bad day for this guy. Ohio man gets high and calls the cops on himself. And there's a picture out here of a big old marijuana plant. Police in Ohio said they were called to a house by a man who complained he'd gotten too high smoking marijuana and found him lying on the floor surrounded by snacks. Now go figure that.
Okay.
The Youngstown Vindicator reports that Austintown Township police found the 22-year-old man curled in a fetal position on the floor last Friday, groaning and surrounded by Doritos, Goldfish crackers, and Chip Ahoy cookies. Oh my goodness! What?
The problem, the reason he was groaning, he was thirsty. After drinking and eating all that, the man needed something to drink.
He did. I'll tell you what. He should have been smoking dope. He should have been drinking. The newspaper reports that the man told officers he couldn't feel his hands. Well, it wasn't the weed. It was all the chemicals in the Doritos and the Chips Ahoy. Officers found a glass jar of marijuana and paraphernalia in the man's car after he gave them his keys. He gave them the keys. The man refused medical treatment and so far has not been charged with a crime.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So that just goes to tell you, folks, tell your kids if they're smoking dope, or if you are, you may not want to do it because you may end up calling the police on yourself. Or you might just get fat because you're eating all that chemical and bad food. They got Chips Ahoy and Doritos. I mean, good night, that's a bad day.
Yeah, the munchies is one thing, but I mean, this guy really overdid it and got everything in there that he could. So one of the things I was looking at that I thought funny, and it's happened actually over in England, but at a zoo, said a group of pesky penguins at the zoo have clearly been watching too much television. The birds were caught on camera as they channeled the escaping penguins from the 2005 DreamWorks movie Madagascar by making a break for freedom. So all these penguins marching out, they had found an opening, and in the clip they found their incriminating footprints can be seen all over the corridor, and it doesn't take long for the zoo staff to figure out what went wrong and what they were up to. And they made an intervention, and the penguins, on cue, turned around and headed back into their pen, just without any direction from anybody else, just did it by themselves. So what a sight to see, and it's really funnier if you can watch it on YouTube, you know, but I thought that was a great one. And the zookeeper, I'm sure, must have gotten in a little bit of trouble anyway. So
well, something, that's for sure. Well, folks, call in at 214-787-1160 and get ready to start sharing the funniest or darndest things that kids have said to you. We do have quite a few to read. We've gotten a lot of response from people through our Facebook page and through email, but call in today and share your stories with us. So now, Dr. B, people in Las Vegas got all upside down and were flooding 911 with calls of concern. They had a upside down hot air balloon flying in Las Vegas. An upside down hot air balloon in Las Vegas sparked a flurry of 911 calls because they thought the flight was going to crash. But it turned out that it was all staged, that the people who designed the balloon had designed it to look upside down and actually put the basket inside the part of the balloon to make it look like it was part of it falling from the sky. I don't know if that's funny or if people if people were in panic. They thought this thing was falling from the sky.
Well, I'm sure it must have been a frightening sight, but on the other hand, how clever whoever designed that balloon to make it look like that and to do that particular way of flying. I love to watch the balloons when like out at the Plano Balloon Festival and anywhere they're doing those hot air balloons. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I'd like to have seen that.
Upside down balloons. Well, folks, here's the last story I've got, news story for today. There's some other ones I'll save for later. This, of course, is a bad day in Mammoth County. So police get a phone call. 50 pounds of marijuana was mailed to the wrong address. So police in Mammoth County are asking the person who was expecting the 50 pounds of pot in the mail to come over and claim their package. It was delivered to a home in Hazlitt. And so we want you to come on over and pick up your package because clearly you're without it and we don't want you to miss it. So I don't think they've had anybody come a-calling yet, though. But can you imagine being the homeowner who received the 50-pound package and then what to do with it? And, of course, it had to be a poor older woman who received a 50 pounds of pot mailed to the wrong address.
Oh, don't you know that was a surprise? And when they go to pick it up, don't you know they'll get a surprise?
Oh,
so.
There's no doubt about it. So we'll have to see if somebody goes and picks that up. I'm watching the news for that one to see if anybody is dumb enough to go and pick that up. We'd like to say a few hellos out there. Kevin Nix is listening to us from Liberty Hill, Texas. Anita Ekmati is listening to us. Therese Mina is listening out there. Thank you for listening. Luke James and Vanine Benton is out there listening today. They're up in the Van Alstyne and Dallas area. Grease Rodriguez is listening. Celly Oliva says hello and good morning. And then Francois Dubuc out of Perth, Ontario says good morning. Lindsay says hello out of Innsbruck, Austria. And she is sitting there with her daughter listening this morning, and we're going to say hello to her in the next break. But so funny stories that kids have said. Call in 214-787-1160.
That's 214-787-1160.
So, Dr. B, I'll tell you what, mine happened this week. Not that I haven't had a ton. I've got a niece named Nev, and she is absolutely hilarious. I mean, 5 years old, super intellectual already. And they come home, and she says funny things all the time. I could have filled 3 or 4 hours worth of show on this. She comes home, her dad had just bought her a tea party set, and he told her you can't open it until tomorrow morning. And so she comes over to show me the tea party set, and she goes, look, Uncle JP, look what I have. I said, oh, that's very exciting. I said, do I get to sit down and have tea with you tomorrow? She gets this cross look on her face, and she says, of course not. No, you cannot have tea. And I'm like, I can't have tea with you? No, tea is for Chloe and Nana and me and Katerina. You and Papa cannot have any tea at all. And I'm like, well, why is that? Well, tea is only for girls.
Out of the mouths of babes.
Out of the mouth of babes. I'll tell you what, that is just, it was out of control. I couldn't help but just dying laughing. And so funny things that kids say come out of their mouths.
That's right. And on Friday the 13th, it's a good time for funny things. We had a listener who wrote in response to our request. She said, okay, I had to stop dyeing my hair due to cancer. I was okay with that. I'd gone from very dark brown hair to almost full white. I work in an elementary school with 650 children. One day, a young man came to me and asked if I dyed my hair. I thought it'd be easier to say yes than to explain the decision and process of letting it grow out. He turned around and said, you should dye it back, and walked away. So the natural hair, and she says that that was 10 years ago, and she said, yeah, I still laugh when I think about it.
Well, that's 10. Now, Bill, have you come up with one yet? I know you've had to have something funny said to you by a kid. Oh, oh no. Oh yeah. Nuh-uh. Oh my
That's pretty
God.
creative.
That's
You
creative.
know, I
Oh my
gotta
God.
hand it to this kid.
The,
Sure,
oh well, yeah. Well, I mean, what else can you do?
that's right. He
Oh,
did what she asked.
that is hilarious. I'll tell you what. Well, I wish the fun stopped there. It didn't. We've got another one in. This was from Arzy out in Allen, and she shared what her son said to her last night. They had gone to Brahms, kind of one of her little treats that she tries to do for herself and with her son, and a little indulging. And Arzy's not a real overweight person. I know Arzy. I've met her and hang out with her, and so I know her family real well. So this is what he says. He goes, "Mommy, at my school, all the other kids' moms are skinny." And he kind of looks at her, I guess, for a few minutes, and he goes, "And only you are fat." And she goes, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, they're all really skinny. I don't know what the problem is." So I guess she says, "I guess I need to follow your weight loss post because I've told my child I will start losing weight."
You never know what they're going to say. My granddaughter, who just turned 8, and she had a party with a lot of little girls, and they brought these gift cards for the American Doll thing, and so she had a catalog, was going through it recently. And good morning, Addie, in case you're listening. But she was going through this catalog, and she found this kitchen set that was $500. Now that's a ridiculous price for a toy, in my opinion. But anyway, so she asked her mother, said, "Can I buy this?" She said, "No." Said, "That's too much." She said, "But I have $100." She went off for a few minutes, and when she came back, she said to her mom, said, "Mom, I have 100. Could you loan me $400?"
But of course. Well, we're going to continue the conversation and open the phone lines up now. Call 214-787-1160. Share your funniest or darndest stories.
Yes, please call us 214-787-1160 and share the fun of your family and stories you've heard.
All right, we'll be right back. Bill, take us out to break. All right. Hey, will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Type in the importance of humor. How do we say it? The importance of humor in the business place. We're basically where we need fun and funny to make sure we're productive. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Except my computer's having some difficulty here.
Oh my God, can we say this? Sherry mouthed, "While at Costco, my son suddenly asked me, we were waiting for pizza by the way, 'Mom, is there a bone in your penis?' During first grade, my son said the following during school. The teacher asked the class for an example of a want and a need. My son had an example and quickly raised his hand. He said, and I quote, 'My mom wants alcohol, but she doesn't need it.' What? Then later in the year, I was at his class party. I was holding a friend's baby. A classmate comes up to my son and asks if that is his baby sibling. He replied, 'No, my mom doesn't have a uterus.' The little girl looked completely confused and asked him, 'What is a uterus? This is my life.'" Hey, Bill, can we say penis on the air? We can? Okay. I'm going to reference this by Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, okay. Well, uterus. Uterus, okay. Oh my God, is there a bone in your... That is good. I can drink coffee now. I have found a creamer through Coffee Mate that is 15 calories. No sugar, no carbs. I think part of the problem is people are just waking up.
Yeah.
Francois sent a photo. Oh my God, he sent a picture of the balloon.